Welcome to SRMV News. Feds probable received pulverizing quantity of proof in advance of searching Trump's Mar-a-Lago home, felony specialists say. For months, as new info emerged approximately the give-up of the Trump management, the Justice Department confronted complaint over its slow, careful approach to investigating the former president. Again and again, Attorney General Merrick Garland met that complaint with what has almost come to be his non-public mantra: the Justice Department, he says, will follow the data and the law. On Monday, the statistics and the regulation led FBI sellers to former President Donald Trump's home. Trump showed Monday that federal dealers had completed a seek warrant at his South Florida property, Mar-a-Lago, in a seek that numerous information retailers later suggested become related to whether he mishandled labeled government files. Regardless of the raid's cognizance, prison experts fast reached a consensus approximately a pile of evidence ought to have sponsored up the warrant authorizing the hunt. There's each purpose to assume that there is a plus issue within the quantum and amount of proof that the authorities already needed to support in all likelihood purpose in this case, understanding that they would be besieged with complaint in some quarters that this is politically inspired, said David Loffman, a former top legitimate inside the Justice Department's countrywide security department who prosecuted cases regarding allegations of mishandling classified files. If I had been a senior department professional who reviewed this prior to pulling the trigger on presenting an affidavit to a magistrate choose, I might have desired enough quality and quantity of proof that turned into so pulverizing in its impact to virtually neutralize any arguments to the contrary, said Loffman, now a companion on the regulation company Wigan and Dana LLP. Indeed, for a deliberate Justice Department keen to turn the page from the politicization of the Trump era, the raid of Mar-a-Lago maximum probably required reviews at the very best degrees and convincing evidence helping a finding of likely cause, criminal professionals said. I can't imagine the quantity of probably purpose set forth in a search warrants assisting FBI affidavit of Trump's Florida home, stated Gene Rossi, a former federal prosecutor from Northern Virginia. He added in an email to Insider that the wide variety of overview degrees for the search warrant need to have been great, which includes by Trump's FBI appointee Christopher Wray. The search opened up months after the National Archives confirmed, in February, that many information Trump left at the back of had been torn and taped back collectively and that the previous president had taken bins of files to his resort that the federal government needed to retrieve. Earlier Monday, Axios posted images acquired through the New York Times reporter Maggie Haberman showing documents in a restroom bowl that White House body of workers suspected have been flushed by using Trump. Trump developed a popularity even as in office as an infamous destroyer of documents and displayed a penchant for ripping presidential files and leaving them for staffers to patch up, in step with a record from Politico. Historians grew involved over his tenure that his presidential records could be poorly preserved or destroyed, probably violating the Presidential Records Act. The 70s regulation calls for presidents and White House team of workers individuals to keep reliable files and communications such as items acquired in workplace, letters, emails, textual content messages, and social media posts and flip the one's items over to the archives on the stop of a president's term. Trump is in deep prison trouble, Rossi said. For Trump, an inquiry into whether or not he mishandled categorist material represents simply considered one of numerous areas of legal hazard. Trump, who turned into at Trump Tower in New York City at some stage in the quest, is likewise going through scrutiny over his efforts to overturn his loss within the 2020 election to Joe Biden. At the same time, New York's attorney Trendy, Letitia James, is investigating his commercial enterprise, an inquiry she stated had exposed proof that the Trump Organization engaged in fraudulent or deceptive practices. In reaction to the hunt, Trump alleged Monday that the pass resulted from prosecutorial misconduct and the weaponization of the justice system. Such an assault ought to best take location in broken, third-world countries, Trump said in a prepared declaration. Sadly, America has now grown to be one of these broken countries, corrupt at a level not visible earlier. Then, Trump became predicted to make such claims in the event of heightened scrutiny or criminal fees. His statement that Mar-a-Lago became underneath siege, raided, and occupied via a large group of FBI sellers drew a rebuke from Trump's former personal lawyer, became critic Michael Cohen. It's in no way right while the FBI raids your home, Cohen instructed Insider. Cohen is aware of that in my opinion. In 2018, the FBI raided Cohen's Rockefeller Center workplace and his close-by Manhattan Lodge room. Trump lashed out angrily then, too, similarly likening the FBI's raid of Cohen's places to a smash-in. Despite Donald's repetitive claims that the FBI dealers knock down doors and ransack homes, it's miles every other lie as they are professional and courteous, Cohen stated Monday. Nighttime, adding that Trump knew that they had been coming for me. An FBI representative declined to touch upon the quest. In an electronic mail to Insider, former U.S. Attorney Barbara McQuade pressured that for the FBI to attain a seek warrant, it might have had to fulfill a federal decide that there was possibly purpose a particular crime had befell at Mar-a-Lago. Search warrants, she said, typically come toward the give-up of an investigation because they require a showing of likely motive and due to the fact they tend to tip off the suspect that they are beneath research. Thanks for watching.